Hey, it's Chris Hurst with Sentinel Emergency, and I have Kevin McCart with us today from Key Fire Hose. I thought I would just take a quick second to talk a little bit about some of the questions we get as a distributor for Key Fire Hose. So one of the questions that we get all the time, that we have to ask you, the customer, much more questions, I want to get Kevin's take on this, is when a customer calls us up and says, hey, will you give me a quote for 10 sections of 1.5 or 1.75 hose? What kind of things do we need to think about because of some of the technology that's in the fire hose?
Okay, so go back even 5 years ago, the distributors, for no faults of their own, mainly the manufacturers because they weren't doing the education, they would just ask you about 4 questions. What length, what color, what size hose do you want?
Right.
Do you want cheap hose or you want expensive hose? That was pretty
true.
much it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it. All of the hose models that Key Hose offers, an 1.75" have their own application. So we've got to get into the weeds a little bit. We need to know what kind of target pressure you're looking to flow, high pressure, low pressure, what's your target flow, and then we can send you down the right path to get you in a gold standard attack package.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people don't understand is some people are buying a less expensive hose and then running into problems down the road because maybe they have the incorrect nozzles to go with that package. Right, so those are very important things to know. What kind of pressure you're trying to get, what kind of flow you're trying to reach at the end of the nozzle. And so you have a variety of hoses that allow us to match up the correct nozzle, the correct engine pressure to go with the correct hose, right?
Correct, yeah.
Just that we want it to flow.
System.
It's a whole system.
It's a system. You can't just have a certain nozzle with certain hose. It's got to be a system, a complete system.
Yep, so call us up today and we'll certainly work with you. We may even come out, put a flow meter on your product and see exactly what you're flowing to optimize the efficiency of your setup that you have.
Yep.
Okay, one of the other questions I get run across that's becoming more popular now is people used to say, okay, we're using 2.5-inch hose for whatever operation you're set up with, right? There's a trend going in the market to go to 2.25 or 2-inch from that. Can you tell us a little bit about what are some of the advantages of going maybe from a 2.5-inch hose down to a 2.25 or 2-inch?
Okay, so as Chris stated, 2.5-inch attack packages for big line, big fire, big water. The trend that's happening right now is True ID 2.25. 2.25 internal diameter was built for high-rise operations at 265 GPM at 50 PSI. Is replacing a lot of 2.5-inch crosslays across the American Fire Service because less water weight, more mobile, still achieve a good commercial flow, works very well. So takes up less space in the hose bed.
Slider.
Slider.
Right.
So it allows your 2.5-inch hose package to be more of an aggressive offensive weapon and not just something that gets circled in the front of the building and sat on. And
the reverse side of that is somebody that's going to a 2-inch hose, right? Maybe are those people going from 1 3/4 or 1.88 and then making that jump to 2? Is that kind of what we're seeing? Or
yeah, 2-inch is a pretty popular hose size also. There's some things to take into consideration as to whether you need to be in 2.5, 2.25, or 2-inch. It goes back to the first part of the video where we talk about target flow and pressure. 2-inch is very effective and it works for the right companies that have very limited manpower.
Okay, fantastic. So if you guys have questions on hose, we love coming out and flowing water with you and setting our flow meters up and our gauges. So please contact a representative of Sentinel and we'll get in touch with you and we'll come out and show you what the differences is in some of these hoses that are available.